Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Dubk Dad. Everybody knows the Forbidden and Limited list has been released, effective July 14th to September 30th of this year. Um, it's a shortened list, okay? It's only 2.5 months, and nobody's gonna die. You're gonna be okay. So just calm your tits. Um, First thing before I get into this, I was really happy to see that they didn't do anything in Soul Charge. And before you get all up in arms, I feel that Soul Charge is either a card that should be at 3 or 0. Because decks that can abuse Soul Charge, if they go first and open with their combo, their Soul Charge combo, and you're playing a deck also that abuses Soul Charge, your only way to counter a Soul Charge field generally is a Soul Charge field of your own. And then, it creates the paradox. So, well, they shouldn't be able to soul charge in the first place. Exactly. So the card should be at 0. It should never exist. But if it must exist, then it has to be at 3 so that both players have the maximum chance possible of drawing the damn thing. So, that cuts out it being at 1, it cuts out it being at 2. It should just be at 3 or 0. You can't win an argument with me on that because I strongly support that. I feel that about every card in the ban list. It should either be at 3 or it should not exist. I just don't get it. Why would they print such stupid ass cards that they have to put them at 1? It's stupid. If it's a good enough card to be at 1, it means it's sack. It's a sack card, and if you draw your sack card, then you almost auto win. That's just stupid. All right, in rant. um, so right off the bat, cards that are now limited. Goyo Guardian. My opinion, this card should have just went straight from ban status to 3. Um, just because it's a freaking synchro. Give synchro some love, man. Uh, right now, the only decks I can think of off the bat that could just slap this into their deck are the decks that people should not be playing, and that's Black Wings and Six Samurais. You shouldn't be playing those decks, but if you must, or maybe even zombies, if you're playing those decks, if you must play those decks, here's your generic level 6 synchro with 2800 attack. You're welcome. People are saying, well, the card's not going to make much of an impact because only bad decks synchro for 6. Well, my counter to that is the reason that no one synchros for level 6 was because there was nothing good to synchro into. The best level 6 in the game that was legal, in my opinion, is Revived King Hades. And that's simply because of the fact that it can negate so much shit that likes to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard, whether it be Lindy or Dandelion or Treeborn Frog or Swap Frog. You name it. Mushrumo, if we want to talk nowadays. The Fire and Ice Hand, Gear Armor, all those things, he stops. But only zombies had access to him through Plague Spreader Zombie and another zombie level 4 monster. So yeah, Goyo Guardian is generic, and I think that if this card stays around, people will say, okay, well, maybe this card is good because it's still relevant. I mean, it's still in the Stardust. How people like to summon their monster in a defense mode to play around to play around 101. Well, they make their correct play to play around 101, and then they play right into Goyo Guardian because 2800 runs over a lot of shit in defense, and then you get to take it, which is awesome. I like people dropping their BLS in defense mode, and you drop Goyo and take their shit. That's so cute. Can't wait to see that happen. Thank God Rescue Rabbit in trap form went to 1. In other decks where they get their free cards, aside from way Dragons used to be, you had to work. There was an elaborate set of plays, whether it be Sylvans or Infernity. There were several steps you had to take, and they all had to go right for you to get your free cards. Whereas in Gear Gears, where in Gear Gears, you flip a trap card and you plus one because you get two cards out of the one. Then you go into Gigging X, and now you're back to one for one. And then you detach, and you're plus one again. And if you detach again, you're at plus two. And if it lives beyond that, it's just insane. And then any advantage the monsters you got off the Gigant, just go infinite plus. So I just feel that the card was just too ridiculous. Just free cards for no reason. I mean, if you negated the card, you won for one. If you negated the monster, the sync exceeds they made off the card, you know, you won for one. If you just simply killed the monster they got off, killed the exceed they got off the gear, you negged one because you didn't trade any. I mean, you traded your one card for their one card, but then they got a monster back. They got one of their Geargiano guys back. So I'm just glad to see this card go to one. Reinforcements of the army. In my opinion, it is not direct support to heroes. They already had three e-calls. Simple as that. Um, Maybe noble knights can see a bit more play, but for what I understand, Konami is already giving them a new searcher, Merlin or whatever. If I remember, he's supposed to be a searcher. He either brings them straight to the field to your hand or some shit. So I guess it's just a matter of time before uh, I don't know. Maybe this card could go to three. I don't know. Tinky's at three. Um, Smoke signal. Well, maybe it's not at three. I don't know. But with Rhoda at two, maybe Convocation can go back to three on the next list. You never know. Formula Synchron. Long overdue to go back to two. Maybe even three. Or yeah, definitely three. I gotta stay true to my beliefs. Again, this card should be at three. It was only busted because of Fishborg Blaster, and Konami just like banned Fishborg Blaster, put this to one, did all this other crazy shit, banned Glow Up Bulb. Uh, I mean, decks are barely making Formula Synchron to begin with. You had to go through a lot of trouble just to make the damn thing. So putting it back to three is not a big deal in my opinion. Um, I don't think there's no current decks in the meta that will abuse this. The only decks that could potentially abuse this and that could see any like competitive boost would be some random ass Quasar variant, but that's heavily reliant on drawing Soul Charge and all these other magical things that have to go right. So I think the card is fine. Magician of Faith. Nobody played the damn card. It's like, oh no, flip your Magician of Faith to get your Soul Charge back. No, card should be at three. Dimensional Prison and Mirror Force. People weren't running these damn cards anyway, so they should have went to three a long time ago. Uh, Attack response cards are bad, okay? And the reason why I say they're bad is because generally people clear the black back row before they attack anyway, because uh, they're clearing them in because they're afraid of summon negation, or they're throwing free cards into your back row, and you're just either one for wanting or mere force. You potentially get the plus, but you're usually killing a bunch of floaters, and that's why all those cards just stop seeing play. Um, Potentially, and I have to be careful because I can say this, and all of a sudden there's just this resurgence in attack response traps, um, or battle phase traps. Potentially, Deep Prison going to three. You might see some weird ass aggressive aggro deck. I mean, with Gear going to one, maybe Gear Gears will start running three-dimensional prison, so they have to protect the armor because armor becomes so much more important. I don't know. I just think the card is slow and armor is slow. So, maybe some weenie deck that uses flip flop shit, and three my body as a swag. Shout out to Asian Eyes White Dragon. And they're running three dimensional prison, three my body as a swag, and uh, I don't know, along with three mirror force. All this I could be proven wrong, and we just all of a sudden everybody's running three prison, three mirror force. But I don't think it's good. I don't think the cards are good right now. Maybe once Shadal's. No, I don't think you're going to be hitting too many Madrashes with D Prison because they have the one Shadal dude that pops traps, and they're going to clear shit before they attack. Because if they see, if you hit him with a if you hit him with the Dimensional Prison or Mirror Force game one, well, Midrash doesn't care about Mirror Force. But if you hit Midrash with the Dimensional Prison game one, I'm pretty sure you're not hitting Midrash with a Dimensional Prison game two or three. I mean, it's as simple as that. Well, that's all I got to say about this. There wasn't a bunch of huge changes, nothing groundbreaking. Uh, the meta is not going to change other than gears looking different. We'll be getting deeper and deeper in the Lightsworn Ruler format. Shadal's around the corner. I don't think Telenites or whatever they're called are going to be as uber as they are in Japan because we don't have that retarded exceeds they have over there, and we don't have those Star Seraph guys, and we don't have Shockmaster. So it might just be like +1 Fire Fist, where it's just like a really good grindy deck, but it wasn't anything just overpowered and amazing. So yeah, those are my opinions. It's Dubk Dad, and I'm out, guys.